Good evening everybody, and you're very welcome again to my live video, my live feed from Facebook. If you don't mind, we'd like to start with a little gentle meditation and bringing us forward. So if you can concentrate on the candle, and as you do, if you can just take a nice deep breath and just be present for the moment with what we intend to do here. I'm just moving down, my candlestick's a bit tall. So, just thinking of the light of the candle, signifying the light that we all sit in, the light of God. And I ask tonight that the work that I do, with your help and the help of the angels and those in the spirit world, is of benefit and is what you need to hear tonight. I ask that we each and every one of us send love and gratitude to each other as we sit here for this little while together. Now, I don't know about anybody here, but over the last couple of days and even the last 2 weeks since this time changed, my energy's been all over the place, but it always is. So that's why I've taken a little while away from the Facebook Live thing in order to get myself back on track. So I've had lots and lots and lots of questions through Facebook and through Messenger and everything else over the last day or so. And I've picked, 10 or so to answer, and I hope that will be of use to somebody. But just before I sat, I could feel the presence of a lovely woman around me. And I feel, Nicole, that this is your message. And I hope you're with us now to hear what your mother has to say to you. She's talking about you being very, very brave, and about how strong you've been over this last while. Nicole, you don't feel your mum around you, but the point about it is she's around you so much. You meant so much to her in her lifetime. Nicole, she's showing me a little blanket, a baby wrapped in a blue blanket, which she's holding in her arms. And she's saying that this little person in this blue blanket is being loved and cared for just as much as you were. She's also putting her hand on the shoulder of your partner, because he too needs support and help at this time. And it's just that you're so overwrought that at the moment you feel you're very much alone, and she doesn't want you to feel alone. She's saying to stop trying to be brave for everybody else. You've been having an awful time, but that she really and truly has supported you every single step of the way. So she's asking me to relay the message that you're to reach out to people and allow them to help you. To reach out and let people see that even though you pretend everything's all right at the moment, you really are struggling. She's also showing me that there is another baby which will come into your life, if not 1 or 2 babies, and that not to give up hope at the moment. She's not expecting you at this stage to replace one baby with another, but she is saying to you that this little baby that is now in her arms knows it was loved and wanted and very, very precious. And it is still loved and wanted and very, very precious with her. So I hope this, Nicole, is what you needed tonight. It's such a deep, deep, heartfelt message from one mother to another. And she's showing me how difficult and how hard this has been for you. And she just wants you to know that she understands. She understands, perhaps for her own reasons, in that this is something she would have experienced. But she just wants you to know that she understands. Now, we also have a birthday girl here. And the lady that I'm seeing is coming with balloons, those helium balloons in her hand, and she's saying happy birthday to Susie. Now, Susie, your mother was very upwards, outwards going kind of lady, and she always knew exactly the right gift that you needed for your birthday. Always. And in your family, birthdays were really celebrated, she's telling me. She's also talking, Susie, about there being people around you, and I'm looking at young people. And she's saying that just because she's not here this time to physically give you a present, the fact that she knows that today is a bad day for you. She knows that is a day that you're particularly missing her. And 10 times today you've looked at the phone or thought about calling to the house or whatever, but she has spent this entire day with you. She's admiring your hair for some reason. I don't know if you had your hair done or whatever, but she's admiring your hair. And she said she likes the way this bit flips back. But she is saying that she was blessed to have all of the other birthdays with you. And this day is no different. She is still around you. And she wants to give her lovely girl a big birthday hug. So now, as I was setting out, of course, I'm very excited at the moment because I've got some lovely new cards. These are the Archangel Power Tarot. And this is the deck of cards that I'm going to be teaching in my new workshop, which is starting in Kildare on the 28th of this month. Now, a lot of people are a bit afraid of the tarot cards, but these are the Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine, her son. They made these cards, and even though they have some of the essence of the tarot, they have a lot of this angelic presence. So, what I'm doing is I'm shuffling the cards, but just before I started, I meant to say to you, the Three of Raphael came out. Now, Raphael is the same as the Cups card in the old, well, not the old, in the Rider-Waite tarot deck. So threes are all about joining together, about coming together. I love this in that they're all mermaids. So they're all flipping their tails there nicely, but the threes are about coming together. And what I feel is things like this with my feed and everyone else's that's going on are bringing us that are like-minded people together, even for 10-15 minutes. And that the card is saying that to do more of this. This is the card that fell out as I was starting. It also has a ship on it, which to me would signify that it's a real reason to move forward. Threes are about bringing somebody else into your world, into your life. So I'm feeling that I'm very drawn to this card tonight because it's about me being inclusive and bringing people forward. So now, questions. Lorraine had a question and she wanted to know, will she move on, or how or when she'll move on with her life? Oops, Lorraine, I think that one popped for you. So, Six of Ariel. And Ariel, as you may know, is all about work and money. So the Six of Ariel is about choices. So what you have at the moment, Lorraine, is that you have choices to make. And until you start making these choices, there will be no movement. But it's also about you being very generous with your time and with your energy. But I'm also seeing with the six, and I ask as I do when I'm reading myself, is it 6 days? And I'm getting no, 6 weeks, which is it's more of a 6 weeks change, that you will find some changes within the next 6 weeks. It's a beautiful card, and it's as if lots of abundance. It's all waiting there for you, Lorraine, just to let it come forward. Right, as I say, these cards, they really are, I love the gold edges. Mind you, my old ones, as I can show you, my Psychic Tarot had gold edges at the start, and now they're worn away to nothing. So, Helen, I had a lovely message from Helen, and she wants to know about a legal issue. So let's see what happens here, Helen, for you. Let's see, Helen. Helen's legal issue. Now, again, it's money. And what I'm feeling with this is, it's the Five of Ariel, or the Five of Pentacles. And that's about challenges around money. Now, the thing about it is that you need to get legal advice. Now, I don't know if it is actually going to go the full round of a court or a hearing, but what I'm seeing is that you're panicking and worrying about this without getting proper legal advice. So I'm seeing that you should get the legal advice, which will knock a lot of your worries on the head. Fives are about minor challenges. They're not major challenges. So once you deal with this bit of difficulty, Helen, I feel get your legal advice. Stop listening to everyone else that tells you, well, now this happened to me and this happened to you. That's not the point. The point is, Helen, go with the legal advice. Now, Anne has stuck her little head in there. Hello, Anne. She's not on my list, but then I will do a little card for Anne. And Anne wants to know about herself. Let's see, Anne, what's popping out for you. You'd love these cards, Anne. They're really up your street, being so artistic. Now, Anne, what we have of here, 3 of Gabriel. Gabriel is all about work and wands. And what I'm seeing is that around your work at the moment, that you kind of jumped into something that wasn't planned. So you need to stand back now, and your health is giving you this moment, and the minor difficulties that you're having are giving you an opportunity to stand back and see, is this your true vocation? You need to plan what you need to do more and take this time out and see, is it what you need to do? Now, around the legal issue, let's see, because she did a double question, by the way, and what I'm seeing is that I'm looking at a kind of a compensation rather than a court case, Anne. So I would look at the Emperor, which is Archangel Uriel, and I'd be calling on Uriel to let this come forward and take, if you're offered compensation, take the compensation. It's nothing life-changing, but it is to take the compensation. And I feel there will be a tentative offer made. Don't be softy, but at the same time, don't be too greedy. And to rethink your whole work situation now, because it's what I'm seeing with you, Anne, is that you need to stick at for your dream rather than following just because you need the cash or whatever. Now, let's see. Terence. Hello, Terence. I hope you're with us. And Terence is asking about changing his job. So let's see what the cards say, Terence. Oh, let's see. Now, Terence, King of Gabriel. Gabriel, once again, we're looking at Gabriel and the work situation. You're not ready to leave this job yet. There is more learning, there's more experience that needed to be gathered here. It's also turns that you're inclined to overthink things and to go too deeply onto things. And it's okay just to go to work, earn a living and come home. But you're giving perhaps 120% into a job that maybe doesn't deserve it. But at the moment, I'm seeing that you are in a learning curve. So you will change your job when? Are you going to change? I think you could do another 6 months in this job because you want to leave it as a success, but stop looking at the small details, look at the bigger picture. So Charles, a good job change for you, but it's not immediate. And you need also to have another job lined up, because the last thing you want is to be sitting at home waiting for a new job to come. And that might be a possibility if you don't have a new job lined up. Now, let me see. There's so many people at the moment looking for guidance. People are finding life a bit of a challenge. And I know everyone's talking about the upswing and the economy and everything else. But I feel that at the moment people are finding financially that they're being made to feel that they're not successful when they really are. And it is about looking at what you have and how you're using it. I'm sorry to pontificate, but on Facebook and everything else, everyone's on holidays. Everybody's getting a new kitchen. Everybody's doing everything. Where 99% of us are sitting at home looking at Facebook in the break of Coronation Street. And we're very lucky to have a couch to sit on and a television to look at. So we don't post the bad days. We only post the good ones. And I feel this particularly, that we're made to feel that we're less than we are. Just by being alive, we're being successful. And we need to keep that in mind. Now, sorry, I don't mean to go on. Joanne. Now, Joanne's worried about her house renovation. Will it go through, and will she have enough lolly for it? Let's see about Joanne. Now, Joanne, what we're doing is new beginnings, and it's Archangel Jophiel. So this is all about new starts. What I am feeling, though, as I look at the card, is that there will be a slight delay in the renovation starting. Wait until you have enough money. Don't jump into it, because the worst thing that can happen is that if you don't, you'll be stuck. It'll take all the joy out of doing up your house. You've waited this length, and another little while will give you that extra bit of money that you can buy exactly what you want. But I am seeing that it will come, but it could be going into next year. And the cards are advising you to wait until the money is lined up properly. Now, let's see. Joan is having a difficult time with vertigo. So let's see what's happening with Joan's vertigo. She's looking for an end to it. It's a dreadful condition. I see so many people with it. Let's see. Now, Joan, this is time to go. Moving forward. It's all go, go, go with you. You have this nailed if you can just give yourself the time to rest. Let this take its course. You're trying, the days you're good, you're trying to push yourself too much. So the world won't stop because you don't hoover. Let it rest for a while. But it is too that a lot of the time you sit and worry about it. I know you're feeling nauseous. I know your head's killing you. I know that you're afraid that you're going to topple over and that you're holding on to things. But it is a thing that's in the process of getting well, and just give it the time. It won't be that long a time, but stop being so cross with yourself for being sick. Now, let's see. Suzanne. How are you, Suzanne? I know you're going through a difficult time at the moment. There is the most powerful energy, Suzanne, around your father. He is talking about the purest of love that he had for you, and that he loved the way you do everything and pretend it's nothing. Your presence in his life made his life so much happier and gave him such a feeling of joy. You really and truly, Suzanne, have no idea how much this man loves you. He knows you found it very hard to leave and go back to your own house. But he's also saying that for the long while he's been on borrowed time. So your mum knew this was on the cards. She knew it was coming. But he just wants you to know that there isn't one single thing about you that he'd change. Not one thing, Suzanne. That in a life of many, many successes, you're his success story as well. He thinks the children are such a credit to you, and he loves the way they're so different. But he particularly has his hand on the shoulder of your eldest girl, because she's like you, she's very soft. He's talking about you trying to be in two places at the one time, and he's saying that this is something that's going to take time to get through. As I've often said before, big love brings big pain, and great love brings great pain. But he just wants you to know that you have the ability to tune into his energy, and you actually have his sense of humour, he's telling me, this tongue-in-cheek humour. Now, he's saying about your work that as you go back to work, and he's talking about your spiritual work, that you're going to take a while to get your own energies back. But the sooner you go back to this, the sooner all of that energy is going to start lifting the grief that you're feeling. But what he's also saying is that now he can stand with you as you're doing your healing. And he's saying it is time that you stepped into this power. In his mind, of course, there's nothing you can't do, Suzanne. There's no way that you could be a failure. And he's just telling you that now, when you're ready, the doors will open, the work will flow into you, and he's so excited about this for you. But he is saying that your mum is going to be okay. He's talking about the photographs, and he's saying don't be afraid to look at the photographs and remember the happier days, because you will need these in the dark days that you're experiencing at the moment. Now, let's see, Matthew. Matthew, you were asking about a message from your grandfather in spirit. And as I think about your grandfather, Matthew, I'm aware of a man who had a problem before he passed. It's either a problem swallowing or breathing, but it's in his neck area rather than his chest. So I'm feeling it was a swallowing issue. This is a very proud man, this man Matthew, who didn't want help from people and didn't want to feel as if he was a victim. He says this pride is in through your family, in your own siblings as well. But he's saying that he didn't want to be a victim and he didn't want to be a nuisance. But it's not that he just was a proud man. And he was glad that the end came as quickly as it did. It could have been a bit quicker in his mind. But what he wants you to know is, Matthew, that he is okay. He is where he's meant to be. And I feel your grandmother's in spirit as well, or if it's not, right now. There's a grandmother and an aunt, a grand-aunt, together in the spirit world. And he was a man that loved company, even though he wouldn't have been the loudest man in the world. But he loved company, and what he's saying is that he's blessed with all of this company now. So he's saying, Matthew, don't worry about him. Don't think that the line has died with him. Because every morning that you put a pair of shoes on you, it's like he's getting dressed to be alive again. Because you and all of the family carry his memories in your heart. But he is talking about shoes and feet for some reason. And he's showing me your shoes and he's showing me his. Whether you have the same shoe size, I don't know what. But or whether you're deciding to walk in his shoes. But he's saying, do what you wish. But he keeps showing me shoes. So you can take whatever that is from that. Now, let's see. Martina. Martina's wondering about changing her job. Let's see what the cards have to say to you, Martina, about changing your job. And once again, we'll just drop them and see. I learned this dropping method from my friend Jo Watkins, who lives in Perth. She came over to Ireland late last year, and we had a kind of a thank you thing together, and we did a little class together, and she showed me this dropping method of the cards. She'll actually be coming back again at some stage of this year, and she'll be doing another class with me. So Jo, if you're listening, or catch me tomorrow when you get up in the morning, she's living in Fremantle, and she works in the Blue Buddha in Fremantle. So hi Jo. Anyway, so Nicole or Martina, are you going to change your job? Yes, you are going to change your job. And this is about you getting perspective. And that the next time you change your job, you're changing within the next 12 months. But you need to be very careful that the job you pick this time is a better job than you have now. It's also that it suits your skill set more. So I don't know. I'm looking at this, and it's about not jumping into anything. It's about not making decisions without thinking them through. Make sure that when you go to the hassle of leaving, that the job you're going to is going to make you happier than the one you have now. But there is a job change, but as I say, get your perspective right. Look at everything that you like about your current job or everything you don't like, and make sure not to duplicate it again. Okay. Let me see. It seems that I've done my 10 questions and a few more. Let me see. If there's anyone wants to pop a question up in my newsfeed now, you never know, you might be lucky. Let me see. Michelle also wants to know if she's going to change her job. Everyone's on the move today. Let's see, Michelle, will you change your job? Michelle, High Priestess card. This is about having powerful insights. You must be a little bit psychic, because what I'm seeing is that as you're moving forward, that it's about making decisions with both your eyes open. This is the High Priestess card. This is Archangel Haniel, who is going to guide you through this. So when you're looking at jobs, just ask if Haniel is around and will help you. Now, Christine, I'm in the position, Christine, of knowing that you lost somebody very special last week. I can't remember your sister, and you'll have to forgive me for that. But really and truly, Christine, what your sister is saying is that she was blown away by everything. Every tribute, every single person that came and stood with you as a family and stood because of who she was. She loves the idea that you came again recently to celebrate her life with music and stories and everything else. Your sister wasn't about being sad. Your sister was about being happy. She knows that you feel very, very alone and very vulnerable this week. And she'd normally be the one to tell you to buck up and get on with it and get over things. But she just wants you to know that she knows all of the thoughtful things that each and every one of you did. But you were so thoughtful around so many things, Christine. And so generous. You're the kind that would take the shirt off your back and give it to somebody. And she's saying that as a sister, she couldn't have asked for anybody better. And she just wants you to know, Christine, that she's showing me a man beside her in the spirit world, and I feel it's an older man, and she's very happy to be with this man. And she just wants you to know that she's very, very happy. She's glad that horrible bit was over. So, I'm delighted that's gone. So she just wants you to know that she's happy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, talking about this course that's on the 28th. It's open to very few people because the room is small and I want to give everybody my undivided attention. But what we're going to do at this course starting on the 28th in Choctara is we're going to learn the meaning in simplified ways of the tarot cards. Now, I have about 20 books about the tarot, and as I started to try and learn the tarot myself, every single card contradicted itself, every book contradicted itself. So what I have done is I've used all of my experience to put together easy to understand cards. I will show you how to do the spreads. We will go through them in detail. Everything that I am going to tell you is going to be given to you in notes, detailed notes, as the course goes on. It's a course over 3 months. So the first day, as I say, is on the 28th here in Kildare, and then there'll be one in May and one in June. The other part of the course, which is very, very dear to my heart, is the mediumship end. And what I hope to do, and what I intend to do, is to show you how I make my own mediumship link, so that I can tune in to other people's energies, but often I just sit and tune into my own mother and father. And that's the real gift that I have, that I can tune in, or that I have been given, that when I have a question that my mother or father, well, probably always my mother, would answer, I can now sit and link with her and still get that feeling of what she's telling me. I mightn't always like what she said, but then I didn't like what she told me to do in life either. But she was always right, as mothers always are. So that's the gift of mediumship. It's lovely to sit here and give messages to people. But to know that my family, that I love, are still alive and still speaking with me is the true gift that I've been given just because I'm doing this work. So that's what the course is about how to tune in, how to protect yourself. It's easy, it's simple, because I'm not a really technical person, as you can see. So I like to simplify things. So if it's a thing that you are interested in sitting with me for 3 separate Saturdays over the next 3 months, give me a call, give me a text, give me a message, shout at me in the street. I don't mind. Anyway, Shona, how are you, Shona? Shona Golden is one of my little proteges from Sligo. As I say a protege, I think she came into the class in Sligo knowing more than I'll ever teach anybody. But Shona has opened a beautiful clinic in her own hometown, and she's looking for a card from me. Shona, how are you? I know you're going from strength to strength. Let's see what the card is for Shona. Now, Shona, it's an Epiphany card, Archangel Raziel. Now, this kind of a card is about spiritual growth. It's about being a light to others. And Shona, what I am seeing is you're very, very busy. You need to meditate more in order to bring through to you all of the things that are waiting to be discovered. But I am feeling at the moment, and I know you've children, you're being pulled from Billy to Jack, but there is huge stuff coming down the line from you. And as I look at 9 is a really thing of being almost there. So give yourself the opportunity of going into your beautiful room and just sitting in the power, because that's all you need, is to sit in the power. I'm looking at you doing, Shona, doing automatic writing so that you know and remember the messages. And the messages are going to be repeated and repeated and repeated until you take them on board. But there is a thing about protecting your energy, protecting your space. And I'm looking at you lining up against your inside walls crystals like amethyst of protection. So protecting this particular part of this building that you work in is very, very important to you. But huge progress there, Shona. As I say, people come to me and they end up teaching me instead of me teaching them. Now, let me see. There's Denise would like some information on the course. Denise, if you could send me a private message, please. If you could send me a private message, because in case I lose all this, there's so many people coming up in the news feed. Now, let me see. There's a woman called Mary in the spirit world. Mary, before she died, was very agitated, and I'm feeling the agitation in my heart. Mary is talking about her getting sick when she was on her own, and that she was unwell or fainty or passing out slightly for a while before somebody came in. And it's like somebody came in through the back door and saw her on her own little armchair, kind of beside the fire or beside her cooker or whatever she had her armchair, and she's having a moment. Now this person, and I feel this person who came in was a man, and I feel he went and got help or got somebody to come to her. But she's very, very shaky. Now, Mary is saying that she has a fairly decent sized family and that any one of them would have been there to help her. But this came on her suddenly. And she's talking about a son and a daughter-in-law who have been particularly good to her. And she just wants them to know how much she appreciated. I feel in some way that this son and daughter-in-law shared the house with Mary, or Mary shared their house. But it's more like they shared the house with Mary. And how this girl coming into her life was just a godsend. And there were little kiddies running around, and I'm looking at a little boy that used to come and sit on Granny's knee, and how that was a blessing. But Mary would just love you to know that even though she felt jittery, that wore off once she knew there was somebody with her. Now, Patrick Taylor, of all people, and Celine being a fabulous reader and a fabulous medium, Patrick wants a message. And Patrick, I'll just do one for you because it's so funny. But Celine did me a lovely few cards recently. So Patrick, let's see what you're doing. We'll see how the television business is going. Now, Patrick, what I'm looking at is that at the moment, and this is the 9 of Raphael, and as you know, or maybe you don't know, Raphael is all about love. That at the moment you are bending or turn, the Raphael is upside down. It's about, so you're bending your life and bending your own career around Celine's to help her to grow. It's a wonderful thing to do. It's going to, the wishes that she has in her life are all going to come through. And it's down to your support and to your unending giving and helping and supporting and encouraging that things are the way they are. Now, the funny thing is that you have given Celine all the credit for being the healer and the psychic in your family. But there is a big thing, Patrick, about you looking at shamanic work for yourself. And that to do something, because you're a very grounded, earthy man, there is a thing about you looking at that. And even if a sweat lodge or something like that came up, you might go for it, because there is a sensitivity around you. I'm not saying you're going to take Celine's place, but I just feel as a couple you would offer a double service to humanity as things go forward. But there is a whole thing that you've given her the lift. She's flying now. You don't need to do any more. But it is about you and stepping back in. But try and look at the shamanic work, Patrick, for whatever reason. You'd get great fun from it anyway. Now, Catherine. Hello, Catherine. How are you up there in Swinford? I'm actually coming to Swinford to do a day's reading in the middle of May. I think it's 16th or 17th or 15th, one of those days. And I'm planning to come and do a day's private readings in Swinford. But let's see about Catherine. Catherine, again, we're looking at the Empress. Now, what you do, Catherine, is you get great plans and you're going to do lots and lots of stuff. And then you let it be diluted by others. It is time, and I'm seeing you with a place of your own where you're doing all of your healing work. I'm all seeing writing around you, Catherine, but it does need to be time that you step forward for yourself. You could easily do anything you want to do, and I'm talking spiritual rather than anything else. But it is a time that you're going to swing this around and blow your own trumpet. That's what I'm getting with this. The Empress card is lovely. It's Archangel Gabriel. It's all about you going forward, Gabriel being the voice. And sometimes we have to blow our own trumpet, and I think that's where you need to do now, Catherine, if that's okay. Now, I'm looking at time. Let me see. Tracy. Hello, Tracy. How are you? I just do. If you don't mind, Tracy, I might just use my ball for you. I love my crystal ball. It's worth carrying, even though it's a stone or more weight. Tracy, let's see about you. At the moment, I feel, Tracy, that every single thing in your life is kind of annoying you, that everything is pushing at your own boundaries. And I just feel that you need to enjoy this time with your child. Enjoy being a mum, because you really are such a good, powerful mother. Now, I feel this boy is quite small, and I just think that there's going to be great pleasure in these next couple of years with him. So stop thinking I should be doing every single thing, Tracy, and just enjoy him. Now, Tulare, how are you, Tulare? Tulare, all the way from Wales, in a place I can't even think how to pronounce. Hi, Tulare. Let's see about you. Now, Tulare, Ace of Raphael. Now, as we look at this, an ace is all about a new beginning, and it's all about love. Tulare, have patience. Let yourself get well. The people who love you, the people who want you back in work, will wait for you. But there is the thing too, and I keep seeing the dry eyes. I keep seeing medicine going into your eyes, and I feel that you need to get your eyes right, but they will be okay, but it's as if there needs to be deeper medication going into your eyes on some level. But there is a new start coming, and stop giving yourself such a hard time and enjoy your time off. That's about the main thing. I'm also looking at your daughter doing some work on you, perhaps putting her hands, or a healer putting their hands over your two eyes to clear whatever is there. Hello, Les, how are you? Let's see how Les is doing. Les, since you stuck your head in, I'll do one card for you, if that's all right with you. Yeah, I think this is going to be my last thing. Now, Les. Les, I'm looking at the Seven of Gabriel. Once again, as we know, or as I'm telling you, Gabriel is the card of wands. And sevens are slight challenges. So wands are all about work and moving forward and financial things. And there are a few challenges around work. Now, the other thing about this is, Les, that you have opinions. And you are the voice of the people that you work with some of the time. So if something's not suiting you, say it. But on the other hand, you have to realise that this job has meant a lot to you over time. And that you're very good at what you do. And even though you don't like it a lot of the time, don't judge yourself by other standards. As they say, if a fish judged their success by their ability to climb a tree, they'd be a failure. So you can't compare apples and oranges, Les. But it is about, it's going to get slightly nigglier and nigglier until you actually start doing the healing work and start doing what you want to do, Les. But it is about the Seven of Gabriel. So it's like people push, push, push until you have to go. But stop comparing yourself. Now, again, I look at Les, and around Les I see both his mum and dad. And as I see his father looks very, very like him. But this couple are standing side by side. And even though there was a vast difference in their ages at the time of passing, I just feel that at the moment they're standing side by side and they both look around the same age. And I can see your mother looking up adoringly into your father's face. You have a very happy mother and father at the moment, Les. With around the house, your mother is looking and she's saying the sooner the better, the sooner the better. And it's as if she's gifting each of you with the proceeds from the sale of the house. And she's saying that this is what she kept her house for. And this is what she kept the house that your father and she had. And this is what it's for. That it gives you independence and pride and your brothers. Now, I'm not speaking out of turn, but she's also saying that the brother who's not well is not as ill as he thinks he is. So he's to stop worrying for the moment that it's not as bad as he's thinking. And they're doing everything in their power to help that man and to give him strength. Now, so Hannah's asking me what deck I'm using. I'm using the Archangel Power Tarot card, the Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine deck. They're very nice. And Hannah, these are the ones, as I say, I will be using at the course. They're very slippy at the moment because they're so new. So, everybody, I'm very, very grateful for you spending this time with me. And I just hope that I've helped in any small way. It's lovely to connect with people. And if you don't mind, I can use the candle again just to close down our energies. So, hello Katie. Anyway, so what we're saying is, if you just like, one by one, to offer up gratitude and thanks for spending this time together. And to thank all of those in the spirit world who came. And I apologise to those that I didn't have time to give a message from. But I'm always afraid I'm going to be inappropriate in a very public forum like this. So we ask that we close down our energies and give gratitude for being together for this time. Thank you everybody. Good night.